Welcome back. Today we are going to start with the numerical questions for turnover ratios. The first question we will see, calculate inventory ratio from the following, and these are the particulars given for you, and we need to calculate only the inventory turnover ratio. So let's solve the problem. First is inventory turnover ratio. The formula we have to put up first, that is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. COGS means cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Now, before we put up in this formula, we should know first what is the cost of goods sold and what are average inventory from this information. Now, let's calculate the cost of goods sold first. Cost of goods sold, how to calculate? We have to calculate it by opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. So here we are having opening stock, we have purchases, and we have closing stock, right? So we'll put up in this formula. The amount of opening stock is 92,400, purchases is 2,75,000, and minus closing stock, that is 67,600. So after adding up all this value and minusing the closing stock, we get the value as 3 lakh. Now 3 lakh is representing the cost of goods sold. Okay. So after we know the cost of goods sold, we'll go to average inventory. How to calculate average inventory? Average inventory is opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. So we have opening stock, we have closing stock, right? We'll just add this 2 and divide it by 2. Then we get the value as 80,000. Okay, now we got both the values for the ratio, that is the cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. We got 3 lakh, we got 80,000, right? So we'll put up in the formula, cost of goods sold is 3 lakh divided by average inventory 80,000. When we calculate it, we are getting 3.75 times. So here, whenever the answer is given, we have to write it as times. Always remember, for turnover ratios, we always represent it with times, not in percentage, not in rupees, always in times. So hope this first question is easily understandable. Let's moving on to the next question. Question number 2. Calculate debtors turnover ratio from the following. Now you have to calculate the debtors turnover ratio. So first of all, we have to see what is the debtors turnover formula. Credit sales, you can say credit sales or net credit sales, it means the same, divided by average debtors. So first of all, let's see what are the average debtors. Average debtors will be what? Opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. Now in case here, if there is any kind of bills receivable is mentioned in the question, that also have to be added under the average debtors. But in this question, there are no bills receivable, so we will ignore it. Okay. Now for credit sales is directly given in the question. There is nothing to calculate here under the credit sales. This is 6 lakhs rupees is given. Cash sales is 3,40,000, but this cash sales will not be taken into consideration for calculating the debtors turnover ratio. We'll take only and only the credit sales. So credit sales is already given in the question. If you see here, credit sales was 6 lakhs divided by 1 lakh. What is this 1 lakh? 1 lakh is average debtors. How we calculated 1 lakh? Opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. We put up the value. Opening debtors is 75,000 plus closing debtors is 1,25,000 divided by 2. We got the value as 1 lakh. Okay. So after we got this value, then we calculated in the, we put up in this ratio 6 lakh divided by 1 lakh, we got the value as 6 times. So again, you see here, we are putting the value as 6 times, okay, times. You always remember this as given. Next question, number 3. On the basis of the following information, calculate debtors turnover ratio, average collection period, creditors turnover ratio, and average payment period. Now from here we'll calculate all these ratios. Okay, now first let's see. First is given as debtors turnover ratio. Now debtors turnover ratio, credit sales divided by debtors plus bills receivable I have put up. Now what is this credit sales? Credit sales is here, it is given. They have not mentioned whether it is cash or credit, but we have to take it the full amount. Okay, since it is not mentioned. If it is mentioned separately credit sales, then we have to take only the credit sales. But in this question, only sales is given, so we cannot distinguish whether it is cash or credit, right? So we have to take the whole amount of sales. So whole amount of sales divided by debtors plus bills receivable. Now in this condition, we are here in this question we don't have any opening debtors or closing debtors or opening bills receivable and closing bills receivable, right? We only have debtors and bills receivable. So in this case, what happen in this type of question, what you can do is, for finding the debtors turnover ratio, you can directly add the debtors with the bills receivable if there is no opening and closing balances are given. Okay, so debtors plus bills receivable, that is 54 lakhs plus 6 lakhs. Okay, so we're getting the value as 8.75 times. But be careful when you are getting this type of question. Don't be confused with this type of questions. Okay, so if opening and closing balances are not given, then you can take the value of debtors and bills receivable, but you don't have to take the average of this one. Okay, and if closing and opening balances are given, then you have to take the average, that is opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. And in case of sales, if sales amount is directly given in the question, there is nothing mentioned as credit sales or cash sales, then you can take directly the sales value. Okay, but in case credit sales is specifically mentioned, then only the credit sales have to be taken here. Okay, but in this question we have sales directly given, we don't have opening balance, we don't have closing balances of any of these items. So what we are doing here is debtors plus bills receivable, directly we are adding it, and but then we are not dividing it by 2, we are not finding the average. Okay, so whatever the result, it is denoted with times. Next is average collection period. Now average collection period will be 365 days divided by the debtors turnover ratio. I have told you that in how many months or days the debtors have given you the money, or how from them how you have collected the money, right? That is the collection period. So in order to calculate the average collection period, we have to take the days. Okay, 365 days divided by debtors turnover ratio. Now 365 days we have in a year, right? So that 365 days you have to write it divided by 8.75 times. 8.75 times is the debtors turnover ratio. We just now calculated it, right? So when we divide it by the number of days, we get 41.7 days or 42 days. Now in this case, we don't have to write it as times. Okay, collection period and average payment period, we don't have to write it as times the answer. Okay, we have to write it as days. So here days is given as 41.7 days, so we can just round it off by 42 days. Okay, now in collection period, I have told you again, 365 days divided by debtors turnover ratio. Whatever debtors turnover ratio you get, it have to be divided with the 365 days. Next is creditors turnover ratio. Creditors turnover ratio is, the formula is credit purchases divided by creditors plus bills payable. Now why we are putting this formula creditors plus bills payable? Because we don't have any opening or closing balances. Okay, next credit purchases. Now here purchases is given there, but they have not mentioned whether it is cash or credit, so we'll directly take this purchases value here also. So here it is given the value of credit purchases divided by creditors plus the bills payable. Here creditors is 20 lakh plus bills payable is 5 lakh. It is same procedure we have to follow as we have followed in the debtors turnover ratio. Okay. Now when we calculate this, we get the value as 12.6 times. Next is average payment period. Now average payment period means when you have taken a loan from the creditors, you have to pay it back, right? In how much time period you have paid it back, that will be calculated under average payment period. So it is 365 days divided by creditors turnover ratio. Okay, now creditors turnover ratio we have already calculated, that is 12.6 times. We just divide it with 365 divided by 12.6, we get the value as 28.97 days. So we'll just round it off and write as 29 days. That means the collection period, you have paid the money within 29 days. And here the collection period, when the debtors have given you back the money, on within 42 days they have given you back the money. Okay, so these are the ratios, these are all the turnover ratios. Next question, we'll find out first Calculate working capital turnover ratio from the following. These are the information. No, we have to calculate working capital turnover ratio. Formula for working capital turnover ratio is net sales divided by working capital, right? So net sales, how you will get the net sales? We have to take all the sales value, right? We will not consider only the credit sales. We have to take all the sales. Cash sales plus credit sales minus the sales return, if any. In this question, we have sales return, right? So we'll put up in the formula, cash sales is given 12,60,000. Credit sales is given 8 lakh minus sales return is given 80,000. So after adding and deducting sales return, we get the value as 19,80,000. So this is the value of net sales. Now what is working capital? Working capital formula is current assets minus current liabilities. So here directly current assets is given 7,20,000. Current liability is given 3,24,000. So just minus these two items, and then we get the value as 3,96,000, right? So 3,96,000 is the working capital. Net sales value is this. So we'll put up in the formula now. 19,80,000 divided by 3,96,000. So this is the ratio. So when we will get the result, we will get the result as 5 times. Okay, here also times you have to, whenever you see turnover ratio, you have to find out, you have to always represent the answer with times. So hope you have understood all the 4 questions, and in the next slide I have shown the question for practice, which you have to practice at home. Okay, calculate working capital ratio from the following. These are the information given to you. You put up in the formula, okay, and then write it. Now in this question, I want to say to you, when you are practicing working capital ratio from this following, okay, current assets are given, current liabilities are also there, but there is no sales value, right? Because the formula of working capital ratio is net sales divided by working capital. Working capital easily you can calculate, because current assets, you find out what are the current assets, what are the current liabilities, you find out, and you can get the working capital. But what about the sales? Sales value is not given. So in case in the question sales value is not given, then you can take the value of cost of goods sold. Okay, so the formula will become what? Cost of goods sold divided by working capital. Okay, in this question, specifically in this question, there is no sales value. So if sales value is not there, you consider this cost of goods sold as the sales value. The formula will be cost of goods sold divided by the working capital. Hope you can practice this well. And in the second question also I have given for you to practice, that is, you have to calculate the fixed assets turnover ratio and the working capital turnover ratio. Fixed assets turnover ratio, you have to see all the fixed assets first and the net sales. Okay, sales for the year is already given in the question. Okay, so there is no problem, there will be no problem in calculating the fixed assets turnover ratio. Check out the formula for this one first. After that you can calculate from this information, and working capital turnover ratio also you can calculate from this balance sheet. So hope you practice it well and you have liked this video. If you have liked this video, please like it, and thank you.